Y'all see that drip? Drip, drip. Does that annoy y'all? It annoys me, and this is something that we're going to fix for you today. We see this all the time in the DFW Metroplex. This is something that you can take care of yourself. I'm James, a licensed master plumber at Dial 1 Plumbing, and we're going to go along a journey on how to fix this. So first step, we got to go underneath to turn off the water. Alright, so the first step of any faucet repair is turning off the water. Now these two are the emergency shut-off valves for this particular sink. The first step is to go ahead and turn the water off. These are quarter turn, but you might have a multi-turn that turns multiple times. Now it's very important to know that if this does not turn off your water or you observe a leak coming from this valve, this is where you probably would like to call a professional, because that means one of these valves are either leaking, defected, or needs to be changed for whatever reason. Now let's go up here and take a look at this faucet. All right, now that we have the water off, the next step is to come up here and turn the actual faucet on. Make sure the water is off. Now we can clearly see that there's no water coming off, so we can go ahead and head to the next step. The next step is to remove this handle. Now I have my Allen key set here, and I've already keyed it to the correct one, but there's multiple sizes. Once you put it in here, you just turn it counterclockwise. Once you've done that, the handle will come right on off. Go ahead and set things away in a clean manner so you can actually see how it goes back together. The next, you would want to find this bonnet. Now it's important not to use any kind of pliers on here so you don't scratch your surface. But this comes off just like that. Now every faucet is different, but every faucet has the same functions. It has a handle, it has a bonnet, and it has, the next step, the actual cartridge. Now it's important because there might be some water here. Have some paper towels nearby, and just simply set it underneath there. You want to grab a pair of pliers, your favorite pair of pliers, and it's important to go ahead and size it to the right area. You can see how this particular stem, there's a stem in here that's actually causing the water to drip, that we're just going to simply turn it counterclockwise. Now sometimes once you break it free, you can go ahead and do it freely with your hand. On this one you can't. So we'll just keep on turning it until you can. Now once you've achieved that, again, put it your next step. Now you'll go ahead and start wiggling this loose. You can see that here is the cartridge. This is actually what's actually broken on this particular faucet. Now every faucet has a particular cartridge that goes in here. No cartridge is made the same. This particular one is a Moen. Yours might be a Delta, Pfister, or some other brand. It's important to actually find the correct cartridge that goes with this faucet at your local hardware store or online. Now if you do struggle finding the correct cartridge, you can always feel free to reach out to a professional to get the right cartridge. Now once you actually get a new cartridge, we'll simply grab it and repeat our process backwards. Now we can see that the cartridge is inserted, and this is where you get your last step. And you start go ahead and putting the pieces all back together. Now you would like to go ahead and get everything hand tight until you can't. Now that it's tight, we'll go ahead and grab our pliers and simply start tightening it. Now it's important not to over tighten this. Now I feel happy about how it feels right now, so we'll go ahead and turn it off and go ahead and put the bonnet on. Now sometimes they can be a little tricky, but there it goes there. Now the next step is to go ahead and turn the water on now that we have our cartridge inserted, the bonnet nut on, and the cover. So we'll go ahead and turn on the water. Now I always like to not put the handle on next to make sure that there's nothing leaking here. So simply put your handle back on, turn on your faucet, rotate it around. Leave it on and observe, make sure that there's no drips coming from the actual stem. Once you've succeeded on that, go ahead and turn it off. And we'll make sure our drip has stopped. Now this could take a minute for it to stop dripping, but what you want to make sure that it doesn't develop a pattern. A drip, drip, drip is a leak. A drip and stop is no longer a leak. Now that we can see that there's nothing else coming from this spout, we'll go ahead and grab our Allen key and go ahead and set it in here and tighten everything back up. Once you've done so, you've successfully repaired your faucet. Today we are successful at repairing this faucet. This is something that if you're handy with some tools, this is something that you can do if you follow the right steps. Now obviously we want to be careful about scratching the faucet, having a leak, and making sure your shut-off valves work. If you're not comfortable with doing a repair at dial 1, we're happy to do this. This is something that we've specialized since 1965 in the DFW Metroplex.